We've got Matthew in for Julia this morning. Matt is back after the last couple days, and we have a cool start that feels almost like fall is around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly feels like fall. By the way, Friday.
There we go.
Friday,
Yes.
people. We made it through the work week, finally getting the work week done. And yeah, like you said, Julia, kind of feeling like fall a little bit, but one more warm day before we really get into the cold temperatures.
Today's all right. It's going to be a chilly start.
It's okay.
But a south wind's about to move in, so you'll go from low 40s to mid 70s. I mean, that's a big swing out there.
It's a big snap.
Yeah.
But then we get to the weekend, and then we get to storms.
We don't want to talk about that right now.
Crock pots and...
Crockpot, I do like that. I heard you
yes.
got a new recipe to start trying this weekend.
Mrs. Standard's got one ready to go. She
Bring
went to
me
program
one.
yesterday.
Okay.
So I tell you what, it is going to feel like it's a raw day on Sunday. So
Okay.
just kind of getting you ready, letting you know now before we have this big swing that takes place. Right now, we're clear and we're chilly, but we're going to get warm. We'll get to the mid 70s today. Honestly, it's a nice Friday. We'll have some extra clouds, though, that move in throughout the day. In fact, we may turn mostly cloudy today, kind of grayish, as we have some of our final high school football games for some schools before you get to sectionals. Other schools still have a few games next week. But overall, quiet Friday. It's this weekend that the weather gets kind of gnarly. We're talking about rain and storms moving in throughout the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Some of us will wait a while. Some of us could get one a little earlier. And then much cooler air is just going to rush into Indiana on Sunday. So brace for that. Right now, we're in the low 50s. We're running about 10 degrees cooler this morning all across central Indiana than yesterday morning. I think you'll notice that difference. We're also starting to track some high-level clouds moving back into central Indiana. And the farther west you go, where we have a little bit more of a southeasterly wind, we're warming up a little bit more. We're in the low 50s from Lafayette towards Petersburg, 48 in Crawfordsville. The farther east you go, the cooler it gets. It's 42. Good morning, campus of Ball State. 44 in Richmond, 43 for the Spartans in Connorsville. And we're sitting at 47 for Carmel and Fishers. Yeah, you feel it out there around Indianapolis. 49 in Greenwood, now down to 49 in Bloomington. Bloomington, we've got a lot going on today. Of course, we've got the high school game tonight against Center Grove, and then we've got the big Hoosier matchup, our number 3 ranked Hoosiers. That doesn't get old to say. That's all tomorrow. Today's fine. Tomorrow, though, not so much. We've got a storm system on the way that's going to bring rain and thunderstorms. But when? We'll talk about the timing here in just a little bit. In the meantime, I do want to get to traffic. We've got a new crash on I-65 in the northbound direction as you're approaching downtown. This is a normal slow spot for us as we've got construction on 65 north, but the crash is just before the south split there. So you're looking from the south split. These folks are moving northbound to continue on 65 north around the skyscrapers of downtown. Looks like traffic's still flowing, but we are a little bit slow. Latest delay, 10 minutes. We'll watch it as traffic builds this morning. And then this is a live look in Carmel, right there by US 31 and Main Street. Carmel, we are in the quarterfinals for boys tennis team. The state tournament takes place today and tomorrow. Good luck to all the athletes.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, this morning we are learning new details into a deal made between AES and Indy DPW.
So the two announced that this was centered around rate hikes that customers could have seen in the coming years. But now things might look a little different. Let's get to Anna Chalker, who is live with what this does mean for customers. Good morning.
Good morning, you two. So when this was first announced a couple days ago, DPW said that they paused the AES rate increases for another 5 years until 2030. But that is not the case. If you're a customer, you're still going to see an increase over the next 2 years. So instead of that original $21 they asked for, it'll be $10 now, so cut in half. So this is what that agreement says. So if you're paying about 1,000 kilowatts a month, or if that's what you're using, you will have to go, your bill will go up around $10 a month compared to what we said, that original $21 the company first filed for back in June. And this is not the only cut in the agreement, as the terms include a 50% reduction in AES's sought-after rate increase for street lighting. AES says they asked the state for that original rate hike because of raising costs of business on their end. And they say this agreement is still $100 million less than what they asked for, but it still allows them to tackle this.
We came to the table with these interested parties to make this settlement, and there are also some trade-offs with that settlement. There are some, things that we will not get as part of it, but we believe it's a financially sound choice, and we still think that we'll be able to provide safe and reliable service to our customers, which is our top priority.
Even though an agreement has been reached on the city level, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission does have to sign off on any rate increase. We'll expect that decision late next spring. And this deal has, of course, caught the attention of the customers, but also their representatives and advocates in cases like this. And they say this is still asking too much of the customer. So coming up, we'll say why and what they're really thinking should be done in the next few weeks.
Well, a judge is issuing a no-contact order for the man accused of shooting 2 CVS employees last week.
Terry Rowe Jr. is now ordered to stay away from that CVS altogether. Police say that Rowe started harassing the employees at this location at 10th and Sherman after getting angry about a prescription. And then he fired shots outside of the CVS, shooting 2 women.
Now, Rowe Jr. is due back in court next week. His trial is set for December.
A man and woman face charges accused of setting a Crawfordsville church on fire last December. Tanner Northcutt and Daley Pender were charged with arson and false informing. Police say they searched their phones and social media for evidence over the last 9 months, and they just finally made this arrest this week. The fire at One Way Pentecostal Church completely destroyed that building.
A tiny home community is sparking backlash right now on the city's west side.
So right now, leaders at Lyndhurst Baptist Church are building 6 of these homes for people experiencing homelessness in our city. The plans also call for duplexes and a community center. This is on land that the church already owns, but some neighbors say they have mixed feelings about the development.
We're trying to revive it, and this is, I think, only going to make it decline. And it's going to take the property value down of people that live around here.
I think it is a great idea. I think what the church is doing for the community is awesome. There is a lot of good people out here that need some help, you know, in different ways. Couldn't ask for a better place or a better community to do something like that in.
Now, church leaders tell us they've been planning this for years now and have been careful and to consider safety as well as keeping the community at the center of this project. Now, the plan is to have these tiny homes finished by the winter. The duplexes and community center are expected to be finished in 2027.
A data center project that was proposed in Henry County is shelved for now. The decision was made during a public hearing last night in Newcastle.
The county planning commissioners made the decision after saying they needed more time to do studies and reviews. So the 585-acre data center would have been in Knightstown, Surge. So development in Knightstown. So Surge Development, LLC, and Springport-based GM Development are eyeing the land near the intersection of State Road 109 and Interstate 70. During the hearing, the community was able to share their concerns on this proposed data center.
Many longtime Knightstown families who have built this community for generations, are already talking about moving away if it happens. That should tell us something.
So Newcastle and the Henry County Economic Development Corporation president shared his concerns too.
Our county has two choices. Stay with the limited, no-growth opportunities that this beautiful antique Snoopy phone represents. No growth opportunities with this technology. Or we can compete in the modern digital age.
The proposal has been tabled for 30 days, which means commissioners are now going to revisit the topic on November 20th at their regular scheduled meeting.
And if you are a regular 13 News viewer, you know that we have seen data center showdowns across the state, including twice here in Indianapolis.
Just this last week, we saw protesters gather over at the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood, voicing their concerns about a proposed project there.
Metro Blocks wants to build on a dozen acres of land. This used to be the Sherman Drive-In near 25th and Sherman.
And then earlier this year, you may remember Google pulled plans to build a massive data center over in Franklin Township. Neighbors there signed petitions and even rallied during council meetings before the company ultimately dropped that development. All right, now there's also another project development going on in Morgan County, and that's just some of what's really happening across Indiana in regards to proposed data centers. So right now you can see our extensive coverage on the data center trend at our website at WTHR.com.
Well, let's take a break from the data centers now and turn to football. Third-ranked IU football takes the field in Bloomington on Saturday.
And we know it's going to be extra special because it's homecoming weekend, and that means a lot of partying. But when students, specifically those underage, celebrate a little bit too much, IU police are hoping that they can call for help. Governor Mike Braun signed Indiana's updated lifeline law earlier this year.
And this now protects underage students from arrests when they need help because of alcohol-related emergencies. The previous version protected only those that were calling 911 for help, not the person that drank too much.
We want to make sure that they're responding and they're not holding themselves back because of fear of prosecution.
Now, the law makes it clear that those getting help in an emergency won't face arrest or prosecution, but students do have to stay on scene, provide their name, and cooperate with police.